This is just a quick video to show you how to find where your PyCharm files are saved. So what happens is once it comes time to turn in your work, or if you need to move your work over to another computer or back it up on a USB drive or something like that, sometimes students can't figure out where those files are located. So what has happened is when you created your project in PyCharm, you would have selected a location, but especially if you were new, you may have just left it the default and you may not remember where that is, or it may just have been a while and you can't remember where you saved it. So I want to show you the different ways you can use PyCharm to find those files, and I want to point out what some of those files are, which ones we care about. In PyCharm, we have this project panel over here on the left, and the project name is at the very top. This one happens to be called Sandbox because it's just an area where I do random stuff that I want to play with, code that I want to mess around with. And notice that it does tell me the what we would call the file path there, the project path. So that is the location on your hard drive where it is saved. You also can find the specific file in your Explorer by identifying the file here in the project, right-click on that, and then go down to Open In, and there will be an option for Explorer, or if you're on a Mac, that's called Finder, but it's the same basic idea. And if I click on Explorer, it's going to open my File Explorer to that exact part of your hard drive. Now, these .py files, first of all, depending on your settings, you may not see the .py, but you should see over here that it is a JetBrains PyCharm file. So Python, is just the extension for a Python file. It is just a text file. But depending on the nature of your project, there may be a lot of them if you've done a lot of work in there, and there may be other kinds of files in there. So the Python files are the ones that I care about in terms of grading, because I'm going to put those into my Sandbox project here, and I'm going to be able to run them and look at your code and all of that. So I don't want or need the entire project. And keep in mind, some students may not even be using PyCharm, so that's why I only ask you to submit this Python file. So now that I know where this is located, you can see it's kind of an obnoxious path. But now that I know where that is, I can go into, for example, Canvas, and I can browse to this location. I could also, if I want to make it easier, I could just kind of copy the files and then go to something like my downloads folder and paste it there. The only thing I don't like about that is that now you end up with 2 copies of each file. And so if you go back and make a change, now you don't know necessarily which one did I just edit, and am I turning in the right thing. So I don't love that, but it is an option if that helps you kind of manage things. The other thing I wanted to point out is that this is now a really good time to think about how you organize your projects and all of your files for this class. So whenever you go to make a new project, this location is where things are being saved, and you can change that using kind of a user interface there by clicking this little folder icon. What I would recommend is that you find a place, a known location, someplace easy to find. I can't stand when people save stuff on the desktop, but maybe like your documents folder or something like that. And I would make a folder for this class, right? So I would make a CIS 156. And sorry, I'm not much of a Windows user, so sometimes I clunk around here trying to find things. CIS 156. And then inside of that, I might make a folder for every module or every chapter. So I have chapter 1, and I'm going to make one for chapter 2, and so on. And then when I make my projects, I'm going to select those, the appropriate one for where I want to work. So I'm going to go to CIS 156. If I'm on chapter 2, I'm going to go in there, and now I'm going to hit OK, and it's going to create my project in that folder. And now I know that it's going to be in the right spot, or I know where to find it when I have to go submit it. As always, if you have trouble, first of all, reach out to me for assistance, but it's always an option also. If you need to prove that you've got it done, but you're having trouble submitting, send me screenshots or send me copies of the file. Then at least it's documented that you have it done and you're just having trouble with kind of the mechanics of submitting. So I hope this helps.